Better Off Dead. I'll take a minute to discuss my feelings about Better Off Dead. Personally, I love Better Off Dead. The second HWF reunion show, it was 3 years after Final Violent Act, 2006. And, at the time, it was the brainchild of myself and Mike Extreme, who at the time was dating my wife's sister. So we were, close. So we came up with the idea, listen, we need to have another reunion show. We weren't sure who we were able to get because at the last one it was just, the four of us. So this time, it brought back me and Mike Extreme and Suicide Kid, and Spence Dog wanted to come back to represent the EHW. Well, I was working at the time at Denny's as a cook, and there was two busboys that I was friends with, Ryan W. and D-Rock, and they, had no experience doing backyard wrestling. They never even really heard of backyard wrestling. And I told them, listen, if you guys want to go, you can do some kind of grappling UFC style. They didn't want to punch in the face. So I said, you don't have to punch in the face. Just go ahead, do the grappling, and that's what they did. They did 2 rounds of the grappling, and it turned out better than expected, which is pretty funny because, with guys with no experience doing that type of shit, they went in there pretty good, Also, Better Off Dead, it featured myself, Mike Extreme, again, in our 4th ever match, one-on-one. And it was funny because prior to that match, Mike Extreme came up to me and he said, Joe, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing anymore. He said, I don't remember anything. He said, I took too much shots, too much pain. He's like, I don't remember what I'm doing. So we went in there and pretty much winged it, I guided him through the first match, and it was good. It turned out really, really well. Mike Extreme started to remember everything. He did his classic moves, and he went into that match with Spence Dog later in the night, and they had a really great EHW Heavyweight Championship match. It turned out good. I wrestled Suicide Kid on that card, and there's a spot in the card, and we always go fast and we always go hard, like we did at Final Violent Act. This one was short and sweet. There was a spot during the middle of it. I set up a chair, and I attempted to dive out onto Suicide Kid, who was on the outside of the ring. But he moved. And I ended up landing right on my rib, and I think that was the first of many fracturing, spraining, whatever you want to say, bruising my ribs. It happened 2 or 3 more times during the HWF run after that because, my body wasn't prepared for that shit. So through the rest of that night, I suffered. I had a bad rib injury on my right side, and I finished out that match, and I ended up not wrestling again until the main event, which the main event I loved. The main event was classic. It was 2 out of 3 falls, EHW versus a reuniting 420. It was a rematch from Extremely Dangerous 2002. The street fight, which that was a classic, which in itself. And, this was 7 years in the making. We went out there, and there's a music video on YouTube, and it shows exactly how that match. It was great. It was crazy. It was fun. And EHW came out with the victory. They won 2 falls to 1. Is a great little ending to the EHW story, because when we came back in 2014, we didn't. It was just me and Suicide Kid and Psycho Killer, with the rare appearance from one match from the Spence Dog and Nightmare. But yeah, Better Off Dead. That was a great second reunion show. It brought back Mike Extreme and Spence Dog, and it was Mike Extreme's very last card, because he didn't wrestle again after that. His last match was the 2 out of 3 falls match in Backyard Wrestling, and it was a great way to go out. And I love that card, Better Off Dead. It was good. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. The whole card's on YouTube. Plus, you can check out the individual matches in the music videos that I made, and I love that card.